Taking the year off from Harvard, Giancarlo Sopo, a 25-year-old Cuban American, stops at the Versailles restaurant, a famous gathering spot in Miami for pro-Republican and pro-embargo Cubans.
So here we are, heart and soul of the Cuban American community. For so long, this has served as a place where Cuban Americans have come to discuss politics.
We are not in favor of lifting the sanctions on Cuba. The Americas, Central America, including the United States, are being destroyed by terrorism in the left.
Extremes, whether it's the right or the left, are always bad. I like to try and find the middle ground.
Sopo knows this community well. His father, now deceased, participated in the Bay of Pigs invasion and was a member of the once hardline Cuban American National Foundation. But Sopo is part of a new generation of Cuban Americans with a shifting attitude about Cuba policy and politics in general.
My generation, we see politics very differently than our parents. We never lost our country. We were never, we never left our country because of a leftist extremist dictator. Most of us were born here, grew up in the suburbs.
Recently, Sopo and his friends gathered to watch the vice presidential debate.
Kim Jong-il, the Castro brothers, others who are dangerous dictators are ones that Barack Obama has said he would be willing to meet with without preconditions being met first.
I think the politicians keep harping on the Cuban issue because they're misinformed about this community. I mean, this community cares a lot more than just about the political turmoil in Cuba, which we're all concerned about, but there are other domestic issues here as well.
Ericka Labadie, a young registered Republican, agrees.
We're more about like what's going on here, like the problems here, like healthcare, education, the war. Like, I don't really think about like Cuba and the embargo. And
the fact that my mom, she works, she's hitting 52 and she's still working 2 jobs to help put her kids through school. I mean, that worries me.
This new generation of Cubans think totally different than me because they don't know what communism is like. They haven't lived it. They need for communism to hit them on the head and crush them. Then they will see.
Our generation recognizes as a whole that the embargo doesn't work. That's why I think we need a new policy toward Cuba that embraces, that empowers Cuban Americans as agents of change and allows Cuban Americans to visit their family with unfettered rights.
Things are changing now, it's not like the hardliner Cubans always voting Republican. A lot of them, some of them are even switching, even my mom.
I do think Senator Obama is going to perform very well among younger Cuban Americans. He came here, he met with the Cuban American National Foundation, and he spoke to different leaders in the community. He spoke to former political prisoners.
I wouldn't vote for Barack Hussein Obama, even if I were crazy. That's absurd. McCain may not be the best, but I prefer him.
What new policy measure did John McCain propose when he came down here? Like, what did he say that's going to expedite freedom in Cuba? Nothing.
We have different generations playing roles here, and they're all important, and we all
fundamentally agree.
Right, freedom and democracy. In the end, we all concur.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, to get there, we take different routes because we are like layers. We're like an onion. We belong to different levels of generations.
It's not a matter of party affiliation. It's about the nation. We have to save the nation from the recession.
Still, while a new conversation is starting between the different generations, Sopo doesn't expect things to change overnight.
Barack Obama will make inroads in this community, but I think if he wants to win a majority of Cuban American voters, he may have to wait till 2012. What I do see, though, is that there's more openness, more willing to listen to new ideas.